G'day guys, so I've got this this motor here, nice old Kyosho 480 Gold, LeMans motor, LeMans, whatever. Needs a rebuild. It's had a bit of a rough life, I'd say. So I've noticed the pigtails on the brushes are broken. So we'll get rid of them and get those brushes out. I do have some, I didn't have the original Kyosho brushes, but I do have some Gropner brushes, some brand new ones. I just need to solder little eyelets on the end there, you know, like these, so it can be screwed back on. So I'll replace those. The springs have been bent. I'm not sure if I'll just rebend them how they should be, or over here I've got a Kyosho Mega motor. Could probably steal the springs off that. They look pretty good. Either way, not to worry. It's only going to be for the Javelin rebuild, for a runner. In the front, they've obviously stripped a couple of bolts there, or screws. Stripped the faceplate out, so they've put bigger ones in. Pretty ugly, but again, it doesn't really matter. The faceplate, the motor mount on the Javelin's, a bit tight anyway, so that's all good. So I'll open this up. Well, I'll start by taking the solder off and open it up and give it a clean and go from there. I got some new decals for it from MCI Racing. They look pretty flash, so I'll bang one of those on once it's finished, and it should look reasonably nice. Just before I go any further, I'm planning on replacing the decal. Now the decal's got timing marks on it, and I can see that the timing there's been moved. It's on about 2 degrees. So I'm going to put that back on 0 so I know where to put the sticker. And I'll have to put the sticker on, but before I do the full clean, I think. Or I can mark the cam, but I really don't want to do that. So I'll just turn him a smidge. A little bit tight. Bit of solder dripped on there. There's a little arrow there. There's a bit of solder being dripped on it. But it's going in a runner, so it doesn't need to be super accurate. So I'll nip that back up. Actually, so I'm not going to take those capacitors off. I'll just leave them there. I'll tidy up the solder a bit. Okay, so the brushes are soldered. You can kind of see that, I guess. I've cleaned up the solder a little bit on those capacitors. Now I'll pull it apart and see what the go is inside. Actually, before I do that, I'll mark where the where 0 is. Yep, so we got 0 on both sides. So gonna need to mark that. It's close enough for us. sticky old beast. Oh yep, motor stuck in the rotor shaft stuck in the back bearing. Pretty sticky old motor. But there he is. We'll take all this gear off and give him all a good clean. Take the rotor out. Magnets are good, doesn't look like there's any cracking. So I've given the parts a clean. Wash the can there. Still a bit wet inside, doesn't matter. You'll see why later when it comes time to run it in. Yeah, cleaned up the end bell, came out pretty nice. And springs, well, one was bent, you know, quite badly. The other one's not too bad. Yeah, I'll just put them in and see how they go, I guess. With the armature, I'll give the commutator a bit of a clean up with some, all I had was 600 sandpaper. That'll be fine, I think. If it needs a bit of an undercut, I don't think it will, I'll just blow it out. We'll do that if it does. There we go. So I could have put this in a drill or whatever, but I'm not going to bother with that. It's only a runner motor, it doesn't need to be too great. I'll try to do it without touching the com with my fingers, because you don't want finger oil on the commutator. It doesn't conduct electricity too well. You know, a lot of people would put them in a lathe, but we're not going to worry about that. Don't have a lathe to begin with. Yeah, and true the com properly, but yeah, as I say, it's only a runner motor. I reckon that'll be good enough for us. So it's not really an undercut I'm doing there, just cleaning any leftover copper and sandpaper out of there, out of the slots. And from there, we can put him back together and then run him in. So assembly's pretty simple. Gonna need a washer on the front. Might actually hold the shaft with, actually I'll get some better pliers than that. Just so I'm not touching the commutator with my fingers. Slip that in there. Now, get this ring in the right place. So when I washed the motor, I had to be careful where I'd taken a label off to keep my timing marks. So I transferred the mark inside it so I can still see where it is. But now, since I'm going to put it back together, I'll transfer that mark to the outside again. Both marks. Just so I know where 0 is. So we'll stick the insulating washer on there. And then another metal washer. Stick the end bell on, pull the ring down a little bit. Alrighty, yeah, there's 0 right there. So I'll probably end up just leaving the timing on 0 for this motor. Don't need to get too excited about it. There you go. She turns over. Timing marks on 0. So now I can... actually, I might leave the label until the last thing after I run it in. So I'll go and put the brushes on. That sound is my chair. It's not me. Alright. Yeah, it's been a lot of years since I've done this. Probably shouldn't mold them with my fingers, but anyway. Yeah, again with the oils in your fingers, try not to touch the end of the brushes. Yeah, this spring is far too tight, but I didn't have any new ones, and I really didn't want to use the other brushes, the other springs off the other motor. So kind of, it is what it is. So I'll try and make them look a bit more presentable. And there we have it. It's all back together. Hopefully it runs. So we'll run it in and see how it goes. Okay, so I've hooked up some leads, ready to run it in. So I'm going to run it on about, I don't know, hopefully, hang on, there we go. I want to run it on about 4 volts, so. Alright, so we've got our water ready. Got him set to around 4 volts, 4.1 we're sitting on. So we'll plug it in and get it running. If the tripod plays nice, there we go. Goes a bit crazy in the beginning, but you get that. Actually go a little bit lower on the voltage, I think. So one of the brushes was a little bit sticky in the slot, so I was revving up and down and carrying on. Still doing it a little bit now, but I'll sort that out after it's bedded in a bit better. As you can see, the water's got darker from the brush dust and any leftover dirt and whatever that might have been in it. So it's been in there probably 20 minutes now. I reckon that's probably enough. We can take it out, dry it, oil the bearings, and that'll be that. Should be ready to put in the car. So while it's running, we'll give the bearings a bit of oil. I'll run it up to 7.2 or 8.4 volts and see how it sounds. It's 7.1 right there. And 8.4, we'll get up there. Yeah, 8.5. Sounds pretty good to me. And that's it. Now we'll just put the new decal on. Take your pick. And that'll be done. Alright, so I'll put a decal on it that I just trimmed up. It's pretty handy that the can's stained from the old decal, but we'll still line up the try to line up 0 on the timing. It's looking pretty close to me. Second time round. First one didn't go on so well. I had dirty fingers and whatever. So timing's on 0 or close enough to it. Or is it? Very hard to see. But yep, timing's on 0. So that's good. So we're finished. That's him. New brushes. Fixed up some soldering on the back. And give it a clean and lubed up the bearings and a new decal. And running the new brushes. So that's it. So that's the finished product. Oh yeah, quick refresh, I guess. Not really a full rebuild. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. It's looking nice. The back end's looking a lot tidier than it was. So I'll stick that in the Javelin once I finish the restoration on that, and I'll give that a run, see how she goes. Alright, thanks for watching.